This is the theme of setback and misery. Paul's misunderstanding of business and economics. Select frames. So the agent talks about economics. She's speaking from the vantage point of printing over 1 million copies that the misery business put braces on his daughter's teeth, bought him 2 houses. It did so much for him that she doesn't understand why he's going to chunk it, right? That it has been translated into multiple languages, right? We see one language on that wall, and she just doesn't understand why he wants to kill her, to kill. But it's basically him killing his own misery. So there's his sentimental attitude towards this leather briefcase. And she's talking from a place of economics again. And here it is. The Misery's Child is the last of the series. This is what um, Annie is going to have a problem with because she's going to die in this series, right? And so that's going to shift the narrative and the relationship that Annie has with Sheldon, even if it's involuntary. So she sits, and again, she pushes the economic aspect of him making change. So that lets you know that he doesn't really have a good understanding of business, of economics. So even if he wants to um, let go of something, he doesn't understand that letting go of something changes the financial dynamics of his relationship with the publication place, with the publisher. He thinks that everything is just based upon his name alone, and that he could take his name and move it between genres and still be accepted. People pigeonhole you. Publishers, companies, they pigeonhole you. And if you are doing well and making them money at a percentage on this particular one thing, then they're going to keep that going for however long they can keep that going. So his lack of knowledge of this area of business and understanding the economics, again, she's pushing economics, he's talking emotions, he's talking personal psychology, and he's talking, well, I didn't mean for it to become my life. But they're saying this is your life. This is a good career for you, and we're making money for you. I mean, we are pushing something that you wrote. And if you didn't mean for it to become your life, then why write 8 novels? Why write a whole series, right? If it didn't become your life, so you are a contributor in your own misery. You can't necessarily blame the publisher. They're doing their job as a business, right? And so that's essentially what they are discussing. And so here's where he's saying, I didn't expect it to become my life. And you can see the expression. You can see maybe the sadness in his eyes that he didn't expect this thing, this wonderful thing that is doing very well economically and financially for him. He didn't expect it to become his life. That doesn't make sense to me, though. All of us make decisions at a place of setback when we're trying to make it. When he was trying to shop around that book, it was likely from a place of setback. He wasn't making money in whatever it is, in whatever it was he was doing, and so he said, "I need the next big idea. I need a big idea." And people base trying to get out of their setback off some big idea that I can do that can get me out of my financial setback. If you, I don't know if you are familiar with Tony Schwartz, who wrote Donald Trump's book. I forget the title of that book, um, but he wrote that book. Well, he did an interview about how he was trying to, get into the book business and trying to make something of himself. But he also mentioned that he was financially in trouble, and so he decided to appeal to Donald Trump and write a book on his behalf. And so there's a lot that goes into writing that book, but he made a point. Well, I'm going to make a point that today he wishes he had not written that book for Donald Trump. Today. At the time, it was great. Donald Trump was doing well, branding his name, putting his name on buildings, having a TV show and things like that. But then when he became president and it was revealed a lot of stuff that he didn't know and understand, and he got tons of criticism or whatever, now you have so many people trying to, distance themselves. Now you just have people writing sort of like critical works of him. And so it's not like they talked to Trump himself and or they wrote a biography by interviewing him or anything like that. It's them now writing from a scholarship academic standpoint, right? So there's some distance to him. But Tony Schwartz sort of interviewed Trump, knew him, learned about his ways, tried to understand him, and he wrote that book that he now wishes he had never written. So that's why you always have to be careful making decisions from setback, because why would you get to this point in your life and wish you hadn't written something? When you wrote it yourself, it's a good read. So you wrote it yourself, so I don't understand why it's a big problem for you, right? So when you look at Paul Sheldon here saying, I didn't want it to become my life, then you shouldn't have started it. So you started it from a place of setback because you were looking for a big ideal. That ideal has now taken off. People want it. They love it. I promise you today, if J.K. Rowling decided to extend the Harry Potter series to one more novel, people will go crazy because they love the whole series, right? And that series was turned into a theme park and turned into other types of films and turned into plays for reproduction on the stage, etc. They love it. So, again, she's talking economics, he's talking emotions. And so he wants something. He said, I'm going up to the cabin and to write something, and hopefully that I can be proud enough to put on my tombstone. But again, he's not going to be known for that. Even the book at the very end of the film where it is revealed that he has written a completely different book and he's gotten a lot of praise, he's truly only going to be known for the misery business. And then adding insult to injury, the fact that a woman trapped him in her house just because she was miserable is going to even do more to prompt people to want to have another book, right? And so likely he might try to create a book from that. All right, like, subscribe, and visit. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell for more discussions. You can visit my YouTube channel for further film analysis. It's Favors Film Analysis as the title of the channel. You can always send me an email and ask me a question, reginayfavors@yahoo.com. My Overcoming Setback 5 Keys for Entering and Exiting Correction book will become available around October 2021. I'm still doing some editing. The book does not focus on film analyses, but I use the content that I created for the book to support my my perceptions of setback used as a theme in select films. So when the book becomes available, I will send out a notification video, audio. Thank you very much for visiting the channel.